All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Subramanian Udaiyappan, and I lead the sales for SecOps and the advanced threat solutions for Fortinet across India and SAC. Today, I'm going to be talking about the AI-powered SOC solutions. While most of the times we all understand the need for a SOC today, but at the same time, the needs and the challenges are also evolving continuously. Today, if you look at a SOC is primarily required for compliance purposes that we are talking about. But at the same time, a SOC is also supposed to address the expanding threat landscape. And all of this, in fact, if you look at, we are on the tipping point when it comes to cybersecurity. And the reason I say that is, in the near future, you wouldn't require a person to write a malicious code. With the technology improvements like ChatGPT, with the AI bots that can code, you don't need to be a coder to write a malicious code. You just need to understand the logic behind it. If you can explain the logic to the bot, it is going to write the malicious code for you. You can write a malware without writing a single line of code, which only means that the number of attacks are going to increase manifold. As we face so many threats, so many attacks, so many incidents in a SOC every day, and that's only going to multiply by a few more times. And you will also see that a lot of advanced attacks also would increase. The problem with detecting advanced attacks is, if there is just one or two advanced attacks in isolation, any SOC would be able to catch it. The problem is not with catching an advanced attack. The problem is catching an advanced attack amidst all the noise that is created by a normal attack. In a day, if you already have a SOC, even if you have a SOC, let's say state-of-the-art SOC, with people monitoring it 24/7, even if people are monitoring it 24/7 and are looking at the SOC every day, every incident, they won't be able to cover all the incidents that are generated in a day on the same day. And that's where the advanced attacks tend to slip through, because they require a lot of work. The SOC analysts are very, very busy in looking at, in addressing the repetitive threats, in addressing the normal day-to-day threats, to the extent that the APTs get missed. In fact, in 2022, despite all the technology advancements in cybersecurity field, the study says that an average attacker is able to the dwell time of an attacker within a network is still 281 days. It's 281 days, despite having everything is next gen, right, in the network. And despite that, once an attacker breaches, enters into a network, remains there for 281 days. And that's where our strategy for a SOC is not just about having a SOC that helps you with your compliance. Yes, that's really important. But at the same time, our SOC strategy is all about automation. It's all about automating not just detection, but also response. What if I can take a lot of decision making, a lot of response remediation from the hands of your SOC analysts and automate it, so that your SOC analysts don't have to spend a lot of time on just the normal, mundane, day-to-day threats. They can concentrate on more advanced threats. And that's what we intend to do. And today, Fortinet has an entire portfolio of products, services, different threat services, and all of them to build a SOC for you. A complete AI-powered advanced SOC can be built with just solutions from us, out of which some of the key parts are obviously that goes into building the actual platform, like your SIM, the security incident and event management solution, or be it your SOAR, or be it your EDR. These three are key parts of any SOC for that matter, because they form the underlying platform to address all the threats. And from that perspective, FortiSIM as a platform, as a SOC platform, gives you various advantages. While I'm not going to be speaking about all of them, but the key part of the whole solution is the proper advanced features that we are talking about. Like a SOC or an SIEM typically is known to only address security issues. People speak about it as only from a security perspective. But today's security, just looking at the security perspective is not enough. What happens if a particular asset is down because of a security issue? Which means I also need to have a view into availability of my assets. I need to know the performance of my assets. What if there is a DDoS or a DOS attack on one of my assets? That is, while it is a security incident, it also talks about performance and availability. And can I get an advanced view into it? And that's where our SIEM solution gives you a full view into your network. First, we can do a complete asset discovery of your network. We can tell you what all are connected to your network. Even if you have an OT, IoT environment, we can give you full visibility into your environment. We can help you in not just the security use cases, but also into finding out performance and availability of assets. We can give you advanced features like file integrity monitoring solutions, UBA, the network traffic analytics. So even if there is a user, an insider threat, there is an anomaly within your network traffic, we would still be able to find out. What if one of your OT device or a printer is broadcasting traffic in your network segment? That's an anomaly. Why should a printer today, a printer can scan things, can email things. In one of the recent attacks, the attacker, all he did was compromise the printer. And then he got hold of a lot of confidential information. Because when you want to print something, you email it, it prints it for you. You scan something, it emails it back to you. So if a printer is compromised, a lot of your organization data also gets compromised. And even that kind of scenarios can be taken care of by our solution today. We can also look at the change management for you. We can do an automated workflow. And all of this coupled with our FortiGuard intelligence. The best part about the FortiSIEM is that we have the security DNA. Unlike the SIEM only vendors who know nothing about the cyber security, they are just into building a tool that does data analytics. Whereas in our case, we do both data analytics and also we have the security DNA, which means that we are on the forefront of any threat that happens across the globe by our presence across everywhere. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to make the whole thing easy for our customers to adopt. So for example, if you want to use the SIEM for compliance purposes, we have already rules configured for it, we have reports configured for it, the adoption becomes much easier. You really do not need to spend a lot of time, effort and resources in deploying or adopting the solution. And at the same time, now if you look at it, SIEM is a tool that collects information from across the network, stores the information, correlates it, finds out with its analytics, newer threats, newer attacks, finds out risky users. It does all of this. But what a SIEM doesn't do is that it cannot help you in responding to that threat directly. It cannot help you address that threat directly. And that's where a SOAR solution comes into picture. A security orchestration, automation and response tool. What it can do is, in a SOC today, like I said, the main problem is alert overload. How many people am I going to throw at the problem? How many people do I need to have in my SOC? Do I need to have 10 people in each shift? Do I need to have 15, 20? Can I really afford to run a SOC at that magnitude? Or should I even really be running it, right? And with the weaponization of AI, like I spoke about ChatGPT, with the number of threats increasing, how are your SOC analysts going to be able to address all those threats? And that's where our SOAR really helps. Our SOAR can automate responses by converting the response actions into playbooks. And these are just gamified drag and drop. So you can just create a playbook for any repetitive action in the SOC. The first time any particular threat is seen, the SOC analyst has to just create that playbook with steps of actions, and the next time the threat is seen, the SOC analyst does not even have to interfere. The SOAR will automatically take action on it. It integrates with 400 different, more than 400 different components in the network, and it can push instructions to all of them. It can become a single point of response for you, a single point of remediation for you, and we already have integrated threat intelligence into it. We have already built a lot of solution packs, playbooks for you to start adopting. And this will bring down the need for manual intervention in each and every response action. Your SOC analyst does not have to be involved in taking action every other time. And the third part that we speak about is obviously EDR. Now, most of the places, we've tried to move from a traditional EPP, an endpoint protection, and antivirus to an EDR. But the challenge, particularly when it comes to the the government sectors or the BFSI, is the data sovereignty. And that's where, once again, from Fortinet, from our perspective, we can replace an antivirus with a full-fledged EDR on-premise. And it's one single agent, one single dashboard across all the platforms, and the data is still going to remain within your own enterprise. It is not going to go out of your premises. And this is fully, once again, just like the previous two products, this is fully driven by AI and ML. A lot of analytics that goes on within the user's machine, even to protect the user when he's offline, or if the user is connected to the network or to internet, he's still connected to your network and he's still connected to your dashboard, and the protection is still state of the art. And the best part is we also support the legacy OSs. We also support, even for that matter, the OT environments. So if you have IoT devices, an environment full of IoT devices that you want to protect, our solution can still work there. And we can help you protect across all the stages of an attack. So what are the key components that when you look at an AI-powered SOC today, when you want to move from a normal SOC to an AI-powered SOC, the key components are obviously the first one is the unified security analytics. You will have to look at as having a zero trust framework, consolidated policy management and dashboards, and the last one is the automated response to threats. The automation part of it is very, very critical for you. Why is an automation critical? The automation is critical because of this. If a human has to address a normal threat, I'm not even talking about a complex threat, a complicated one, I'm just talking about a normal threat. Even if it's a normal threat, manually if you have to address it, it takes hours, sometimes even days for people to actually address it. Whereas when you can automate the whole thing, you can bring down the whole time to just matter of minutes. And until now, whatever I spoke about, I'm sure you all are thinking, everybody speaks about AI, everybody speaks about advanced. So what does it actually translate to on the ground, right? So I'm going to just take an example, one last slide as an example of telling you what an AI-powered SOC can do for you. Let's take the example of an insider threat. A particular person, a user, if you are covered by regulations, let's say PCI or anything like that, or anywhere that you deal with a client information, anybody who modifies your critical data needs to be flagged off. Compliance says that needs to be audited, that needs to be logged, and you need to take action on it, right? Now, let me take the first case. The user is trying to modify or delete data. It's a malicious insider who's trying to modify or delete data in your network. Normally, you would not get to know when this is happening in real time. This would have happened, and then you will have to go do an investigation and find out why it happened. Whereas, with our AI-powered SOC running, the file integrity monitoring part of SIEM will throw up an alert that a particular user is trying to modify or delete critical information. Once the alert comes, our SIM will raise the incident with our SOAR. Once it is raised with our SOAR will immediately terminate that particular network connection by integrating with our EDR or with a NAC or with or through the firewall too. Terminate that particular connection, isolate the user from the network, and also disable the user's credentials. And after that, it will send an email alert to the user, to his manager, to the division head, whoever you want that email to be sent out to, along with the SOC analyst. Now, once this happens, now in all of this, if you see, there is no manual intervention. A normal thing, if this entire analysis has to be done, an action has to be taken from SIM to an EDR to NAC to firewall to Active Directory and all of that, if manual intervention is required, all of this would take about an hour or two. Whereas in this case, it takes a couple of minutes for this entire thing to go through because it's automated. Now, this is just one incident. Imagine you will face thousands of incidents such days. Every day you will face thousands of such incidents. And when you automate it, and that's when you will see that your SOC analysts have more time to spend time on advanced threats rather than looking at the mundane threats, wherein the advanced SOC can take care of the whole incident for you. Anything that can be repetitive, anything that can be addressed by it, it will automatically address it. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much.